Yes. People, what's going on? Ziga Talks Football. We're back again with another video. Yesterday was a little bit emotional for me as the league title is almost on its penultimate ending, and it seems like Man City might get their fourth league title in a row. And it hurts because it comes at the cost of Arsenal potentially for the second time. But maybe there can be a miracle on the final day of the season. We'll talk about it. If Arsenal comes second, what is next? That's what we're going to discuss on today's stream. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think. What is next for Arsenal if we come second this season in the league? And also, we're linked to a striker, Benjamin Sesko, who plays for RB Leipzig, if I'm not mistaken. And you know what? We got to talk about some other things. But yeah, what's on the horizon for Arsenal? What's going to happen on Sunday? What's the future hold for this team and all the players and everything else and the manager? We're going to get into that, all this plus more. First, I got my boy all the way from Canada. We got Martin in the building. How you doing, Martin?
G'day, mate.
Good day. Are you in Australia right now or Canada?
No, I'm going to be in Australia in a couple of weeks, but right now I'm in Vancouver. It's nice.
Nice weather in Vancouver. We got Mr. Y in the building making his debut on the panel show, if I'm not mistaken. How you doing, Mr. Y? You're on mute, bro. You're on mute.
Yeah, no, apologies. You're all good, brother, man. All good, man. Happy to be on, obviously. A little bit disappointed after yesterday, but yeah.
There you go. Mr. Home and Away, Dylan, who's been on every single panel show lately. He's been buzzing, but right now he does not look happy. How you doing, man?
Not too bad. Yesterday was a mess. It's one of the most embarrassing days to be an Arsenal fan in the history of football. But you know, we come out on the other side and pray for a miracle this weekend, I guess.
We're going to talk about that. We might have to start there. And finally, we got the guy, the man, the myth, the legend, the co-host, the guy who's been around doing on every show with me this season. Really do appreciate you, Gunner Souls. How you feeling, man? How you doing?
I do it for Declan Rice. That's all I've got to say. Come on, West Ham. That's your club legend right there. Your former club captain. Just do it for Rice, man. Come on.
All right, we got to start. The aftermath of yesterday's game.
No. Can we start with a pre-math? Can we start with a pre-math of yesterday's game? The absolute disaster. The embarrassing. It was actually hard to watch. Like I'd log in, I'd tap into Twitter, and all you'd see is people who claim to be Arsenal fans just giving it. Oh, come on, you Spurs! I saw one guy with a guy who claims to be an Arsenal fan. His profile picture, well, his channel displays him with Saka, and he's got a Tottenham badge as his profile picture. I think you saw as well an edit of people making Saka in a Tottenham shirt edits. I've seen. It was actually one of the most embarrassing days to be an Arsenal fan ever. I think a lot of people, when they put their craving for interactions aside, I think they completely forget you can want City to drop points without wanting Tottenham to win or having to pretend to be a Spurs fan, which people seem to look down on so much for a day. That never had to be the case. It was a really tough watch. I can't lie. It was really embarrassing. And anyone who did partake in that, happily stay over on that side because this is Arsenal. If you support Arsenal, I mean, even wanting to cheer on Spurs should be unheard of. Obviously, we all wanted the Spurs to win yesterday, or even just get a result. But that doesn't mean you need to be a Spurs fan for a day. That's just straight up. Just I don't know how to put it, but embarrassing. It is beyond embarrassing. But and then obviously Spurs ended up not getting the result, and I think they can all come running back. So yeah, it was really embarrassing yesterday. I'm so glad yesterday's over because it was one of the most frustrating and I just wanted yesterday to be over from the moment I woke up. It was it was bad, and then they didn't.
You know what? I did think it was bad, but I'm not gonna lie to you. I was okay with for one game hoping Tottenham win a game because I
wanted Tottenham to win as well. I wanted Tottenham to win as well, but the come on you Spurs,
that right there, I don't think there's a problem. The problem I have is what people are doing on social media. People just do stuff for engagements, no matter what.
The merging club badges, the merging club badges. It was tough. That now AFC melt just on the timeline. Oh, what do we think of Tottenham? Amazing! Like, shut up! Like, honestly, I can't even. I'd rather not even carry on. I'll just.
Martin, do you think it's that deep?
Of course it is.
No, I'm not a North London Arsenal fan, unfortunately. So I'm not going to tell people how to be a fan. I am an Australian, so I was actually disappointed when Ange went to Spurs. And yesterday it gave me a chance to go, all right, let's see what you can do. But honestly, I think a lot of it was just tongue-in-cheek, ironic support. No one really wants Spurs to do well. In fact,
Feel bad for him.
Arsenal fans went to the game. They bought tickets.
I was on a stripper's side.
Yeah, weirdos as well. Weirdos. Absolute wrong-uns. What are they doing?
Sure.
Please.
Yeah.
These are the same people that are going to be in my DMs on Twitter saying, "Oh, what? Hey, if you see anything for Everton on Sunday, can you let me know?" Piss off! Like, bro, what are you doing?
The whole day was wrong. Like the whole day was all about banter and not about football or success or any of the stuff that people pretend to care about. It was just about getting one over your rival or feeding off someone's tears. And I think Ange, he was angrier than I'd ever seen him in 35 years of football management. And it's created a divide in the Spurs fan base because they had to throw a game, basically. It's kind of a disgusting day of football.
What do you think, Mr. White? What do you think of the whole situation? Arsenal fans supporting Tottenham fans supporting Man City. It was a madness.
Yeah, it was, man. Like you mentioned, I think it's all engagement farming, to be fair, man. It's one of those things where it's the easiest way to kind of draw a reaction from other people. I don't think there's nothing wrong with wanting Tottenham to win or get a result. I mean, I've never actively supported Tottenham. It's more their result benefits Arsenal, and whatever benefits Arsenal is what I'm supporting, right? So in that regards, obviously, I was hoping for a win, of course. But there's, I would never go out there, put on a Spurs shirt or mix badges or do any of that shameless thing, those shameless little things just to kind of get some, kind of attention and some notoriety or some retweets. I think it's a little bit pathetic to be honest with you, man. I think the reality is we all want our club to win. And in terms of, Tottenham fans, I'm a bit surprised. I mean, essentially, I get it in some ways because you never want to see your rival, your North London rivals win a trophy, especially the league. You wouldn't want them to win the league, but at the same time, they still had something on that line in regards to Champions League football. And for them to completely disregard that and the platform that would give them moving into next season, because we all know next season is going to be a lot more harder for them to kind of be vying for the top 4 places, because you can imagine Chelsea might be better next season. The likes of United might be better. There's changes going on at those clubs. It might be an even more difficult road to Champions League football, and for them to completely just negate that at the with the idea of just preventing Arsenal not winning the league is a little bit pathetic. But at the same time, I get it in terms of the trolling, the banter. They find it a little bit difficult, but I mean, yeah.
We've got 11 league titles more than them. I think us winning a league is the last of their worries right now. That club's on the floor, and I genuinely felt bad for that manager yesterday. You've seen the clip when he's turning around, he's having to chat to his own fans. It is so embarrassing. And honestly, I thought the best thing about yesterday, watching that game live on telly, is I noticed the majority of that Spurs stadium, like when I say majority, I mean 90+%, yeah, wanted to see their team win for the better of their club. And it just tells you everything you need to know. Like all these people online and what you see on Twitter, it's not what you think. And because, well, honestly, the reason it annoys me so much, like it annoys me to the core, is because we're in a country where we're becoming what people call a farmers league. We've got Man City about to go 6 out of 7 in the Premier League, and we're actually posing a good challenge as a club with a lot of history, a traditional English club. We're coming along, but we're really close to doing it. But no one in the country wants to see Arsenal do it because they've got this idea in their heads that Arsenal fans are unbearable. This is all built up off of melts on Twitter doing what they were doing yesterday. This whole idea that it's the worst thing in the world if Arsenal win the league. We all want Man City to do 6 out of 7.
To be fair, bro, let's be honest.
All because of people online embarrassing us, and we're made to look like a joke, and we're made to look unbearable, and it's just not the case. And how that relates back to the Tottenham game yesterday, you see after all of that talk pre-match, all of the Spurs fans online, play Brian Gill in goal, and then you go and actually watch the game on TV, and shock, 90% of the match-going fans who are probably there week in, week out, who actually care for their club and don't just want interactions on Twitter, are supporting Tottenham because they want the best.
But Tottenham fans got kicked out celebrating Man City's goal.
Yeah,
that was Arsenal fans, and obviously there's going to be a handful of Tottenham fans. But I'm saying that the majority of that stadium, after all the talk online, obviously wanted their team to do well, and it just says everything about modern football.
I think the situation also changes when you're in the game versus before the game, right? Like we saw that with Man United, who said that they wanted us to come and smash them at Old Trafford, but once the game kicked off, you noticed that they were pretty desperate to actually get back in that game and pull us back. So People say stuff, but they don't mean it.
Listen, let me bring souls into this, because I would classify as one of those unbearable fans, because I am a personality that has a lot of people triggered a lot of times. But you know what? Sometimes you need people like me to make sure that some of these other fan bases are put in their place, because these guys, they start saying the most wildest shit. Today, for example, Liverpool fans on their high horse, all angry. Like, what's with all the animosity towards Arsenal? They're really scared that we're going to compare our manager to their manager. They were really worried that we're going to get a league title in this Pep Klopp era. They were really worried, and you can tell by their reaction. So, bro, you can say Arsenal fans are unbearable, but I love it. You expect me to be good and nice to them when we're winning? Fuck that. Do you know how they treated me when we were losing? After a loss to Aston Villa, you know what they would say to me? Why are you even here? Bring Leicester fans. Like, that's what they were saying. So, of course, we're going to dunk on their heads every time. But, yeah, we need to win that silverware to actually have that level of credibility. But, Souls, talk to me. You take it wherever you want to go. Do you want to talk about West Ham? Do you want to talk about Ange? What are you saying?
Yeah, I mean, look, for me, it's as simple as my love for Arsenal is greater than my hate for Spurs. It sums up that really. Spurs getting a result yesterday means we're in a chance of winning the league. That for me is more important. I couldn't give a shit. When Radu celebrated that clearance that he made with his head, did I celebrate with it? Of fucking course I did. Because they started making me believe at halftime that they could get a result here. And if that makes me a bad fan, I don't give a fuck. Because if we
No, that doesn't.
No. All I'm saying, if that doesn't make, I'm not with. By the way, just to clarify, I am not with this whole do the Spurs. I hate that. I hate combining 11s. So let alone combining logos. That's a far-fetched idea that I would ever go down. And all this half and half shirt. I don't even want to do combine. You don't even put other players Don't do that. Don't do that. I don't want other players. My team is my team. But for me, I want to win the league title. If that means my last few hopes are our rivals, because West Ham's just the same, by the way. We've got a rival, maybe not as much as Spurs, but they're a London rival. So we don't really want to be supporting them either. But the reality is we need other clubs to beat Man City. Otherwise, you know what you'd have to do? What the Invincibles did. You're not allowed to lose a game. And unfortunately, the reality of football is you lose games. So you need Man City to do that. And unfortunately, we've got to a point where it's only the two London teams that can stop them. Now, will they? One hasn't, one might not. But for me, what people need to understand, right? Social media is different to real life. You need to disassociate the two. You need to learn that people are going to do what they want to do on social media. We're all on here to make money. We're all on here to get interaction. If you're on social media because you genuinely just want to journal your life, that's bullshit, because everyone's on there for attention. That's the reality. That's the underlying factors of why we even do these things. I'm not saying everything has to be outrageously wild, but a lot of these, like Bleacher Reports, for example, the AFTVs, the bigger channels, they want to get as much interaction as they can. And guess what gets it? These weird pictures, like Kai Havertz, I think it was Saka, and someone like doing this watch-along poster with Spurs. They're going to get interactions. And number one thing, right, what's the easiest fan base to trigger? The Arsenal fans. We fall for it all. You know the reason why this Spurs combined bullshit is because of us. We get triggered by it. We tweet about it. That's why they do it. But then we want to sit here and go, why does the media target Arsenal fans? Because we're gullible fuckers that fall for it. But then we want to sit here and start complaining about it. This is what we've built up because we've allowed these people who react to all of this become the bigger personalities in this space. But if you ignore them, stop following them, guess what happens? Those kinds of people don't have the platform and they have to change their ways. So blame yourselves if you're following them. That's as simple as what I'm going to put it. And also, look, I come from a mindset of I've played football. I've played at a competitive level. My mindset is I want to win. I don't care about rivalries. My rivalry is with whoever is stopping me from winning silverware. Right now, it's Man City. They're my biggest hatred. I don't care about Spurs that much. Because City are the ones stopping me from getting the Premier League. That's who I hate. That's my number one enemy. Because they're the ones stopping me of having happiness. Is Spurs doing anything? Do I look at Spurs and go, shit, they're going to stop me from winning the league? Never. I don't look at it like that.
They have to be fair. Fucking took 2 points.
No, I get that. I hear that. But
I don't want to hear people.
It's Man City.
But why are we going back that far back?
But it all adds up. Like, Gal, I tweeted out this morning, yeah, and I had a
2 points from Tottenham whenever
I think what we're
September.
lacking as a team. I think we lacked that. Yes, and I know early on in the season we had the Kai Havertz winner away at Brentford. We had Declan Rice at Luton, and I know this team do fight till the end. But I just feel like pre New Year's, I think there is a bit of there's less. I don't know what to put it like. We need to understand as a team, and I think this is like, I think we should have learned this from last season, but I think ultimately we have to learn this season. There has to be the run-in from fucking September. Like, it has to be like I put it out this morning. I think honestly, if Arsenal sat on any more than 2 losses by Christmas the next season, I'm not going to bother even getting caught up in the hope again, no matter where it goes. Because if we're on any
I kind of agree, because the Fulham game's a massive one. Like, if that could have been a swinger for us, that should have been a game we'd win, not drop points in.
Okay, so let me ask Mr. Y, where do you think it went wrong this season?
For me, it's gone wrong at the lesser clubs, right? So in terms of
them 2 games.
So we've lost twice to Villa. We lost at Newcastle away. We lost Fulham. We dropped points at Fulham home, and we drew home to Fulham, and we lost away. Those are the games where I'm more critical. You know, when you look at Man City's record against the traditional top 6 sides, they don't have a better record than us against the traditional top 6 sides. So I think it's obsolete to kind of look at that and base that as the reason as to, you know, like the 2 points we dropped to Tottenham. For me, it's the lesser time sides. You know, what Man City have done a lot better than us is, you know, the top 6 from, you know, the rest of the clubs in the league. They've actually taken most points from them, and that is the difference between, you know, us and them at this moment. If West Ham managed to take anything, that's the only thing that would bring that, you know, that little gap difference between us. Otherwise, there isn't much difference between us and City this season. You know, I've seen Liverpool fans online trying to claim we should have gone for a win at the Etihad. Again, that's something, again, to me, which is ridiculous. Taking 4 points from, you know, 6 against your title rival is a good, you know, usually solid record, right?
Yep.
So, you know, in hindsight, you can always look at the results that have gone, you know, where you could have potentially done better. But the reality is that losing to Villa in that crucial run-in was massive, especially after the first half that we had, where, you know, we should have been a few goals up. You know, dropping points to Fulham at home when they were down to 10 men is huge. You know, especially considering the fact, you know, West Ham again, another one. So those are the games where, you know, but even with the West Ham game, you know, we can all turn around and be like, games like that happen. I saw City go to Wolves earlier in the season and have a game like that where they had chance after chance after chance, but then just not put it away, right? But 10 men at home, comfortably cruising, and then allow them to get, you know, lose. I think it was Zinchenko lost the ball in our box, in our half, and then they go down and get a corner, and then we go to sleep from the corner, and they score. It's like those are the small margins.
I think the bigger thing is we lose games and we don't draw them, whereas with City draw those games and don't lose them. And I know some people are going to say, but the points do add up. You know, like when you look at Man City, like when they're having a game that's not going their way, they rarely lose. It'll end up being like a 0-0, 1-1. They'll pull it back into a result for them.
City also got
1 point.
played
Like,
off
for
the
example,
park
if we get
by
a point
Villa,
against,
right?
let's say we get 2 points against Villa,
we get
that's
their last loss, though.
We get a point against Fulham.
That's their last defeat, though, Martin.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying that we're focusing on the teams that we lost points to, but football's the kind of game where you'll get a goal scored against you, against someone, right? Like we might have beaten Villa, but we would have lost to Brentford or Brighton or something like that. I think we need to look at, have we got more points? Have we conceded less goals? Like I think we're 13 goals less than last season. These are the actual like things tangibly that we can hold on to and go, okay, there's actual progress there. I think we can go back and look at any of the results, like Fulham, you know, where Paulinho got that last minute tap in. Was that the one you were talking about, Mr. Y? Anyway,
yeah, last minute
that was 2 points right there. Like we can look at all of those and go, don't do those again, but it's not that useful from an analysis standpoint. And just back on the City stuff, they're a juggernaut, right? And while everyone's fighting over scraps on the floor, City are just walking away with more titles. So I don't want to hear people saying this is a farmers league when they're part of these teams that are just flying kites and lying down in front of this Man City team. Like we're fighting the Avengers in our run-in of all of our biggest haters, and they're fighting kite flying Fulham, you know, West Ham that hate us, Spurs that hate us. this is what we're up against. It's like us against 18 teams right now.
Sorry, just to add on that as well, like one of the things that we haven't improved on from last season is losing games in bunches. I think that's something we can honestly say, that when we do drop points, we tend to drop them in successive games as opposed to bouncing back the next game. And we had that blip in December, didn't we? When we dropped points to West Ham, then Fulham. And that's huge. And I think if we are to be successful next season, that's something that needs to be eradicated from, you know, from the team, because if we can't have runs like that. City don't have runs like that. And when you're competing against Pep Guardiola, you need to be, you know, back at it next game. And that's one of the big differences.
Souls, you were going to say something before we go to Matt. Matt, welcome. Souls, talk to me. What were you about to say before me and Martin got the back and forth?
Yeah, no, I was going to say, look, when you're playing Man City, you've got to try and match them. That's the problem that we have. And the draws do matter. A lot of people, one of the people in the chat said, you know, we drew a lot of games and we lost the league in terms of being a Liverpool fan. But the draws do mean something. And that's what we need to start getting the mentality of. If we don't win, don't lose. And that's the mentality we need to stick with. And I don't think it's the goals. I don't think it's really the statistical factors that really lost us the league. It's those moments. Those losses do mean something. And sometimes they can be the fragile point of the season where a next one's a loss when you should have really won that. And if we can turn them into draws, that means the next game we potentially win. I'm not saying we go invincible. I'm not saying we'll win every single game, but it can have a knock-on effect when you lose a game, especially a game you weren't expecting to lose.
Okay, what I'm about to say might trigger some people, but I need you guys to lock in with me. Tell me, are you guys, if we finish second right now, which it looks like it's going to happen, unless any of you guys are saying there's going to be a miracle from West Ham. Are any of you guys saying there's going to be a miracle from West Ham?
I'm always hopeful.
Do it for Declan Rice. That's all I'm going to say.
No,
Yes,
yes.
99% faith.
You guys believe there can be a miracle on the final day?
Yo,
really?
Listen. Right now, I'm not going off what I believe, yeah. I'm not going off belief. I can only go off what I've been told, yeah. Antonio came out and he told us if it goes down to the last game of the season, Arsenal, don't worry, we got something for you. So I'm going off what he said. I'm not going off what I think will happen. I'm not going off what I'm. Listen, Antonio, you told me something. I'm going to take your word for it because I got no choice. So
can we loan them Rice back for like 5 minutes just for a game?
I mean, can I let you guys into a little secret?
I'd say I'm praying. That's probably what it is. I'm praying.
So my cousin's husband is the West Ham pre-match analysis guy, and he had a party earlier this month, and Jared Bowen came, and he said to me that he wants Arsenal to win. He wants Arsenal to win the league because of Declan Rice. And I'm telling you, I've got faith in the boys. I'm telling you, I've got faith in them because it's Moyes' farewell game as well.
All of this is going to suck me in. just like
I'm not against it.
It was like the Spurs
this team lost. What did they lose to Chelsea last week? Was it 5-0 or 6-0 they lost to Chelsea last week?
5-0.
It's like the Spurs game. I thought at half time, I started believing. I actually thought, you know, these motherfuckers have got something for me. And then what happened, man?
Listen.
You know what it is? You know, if it was like a class goal, you know, like Gundogan's goal in the FA Cup final, outside the box just bangs it in. I can take that. But the jammiest of motherfucking goals they scored.
But Man City,
it, man.
Bro, Man City haven't lost at home in like 2 years.
No, they can draw. We just need to beat that. We just need to beat Everton.
We
won smash them. We need to
smash them. Okay, so there's 6 of us here. Honestly, hand on heart, how many of you guys believe a miracle could happen?
Yes.
Yeah,
I'm getting drawn in.
I'll always believe.
That's the problem. I'll be real. I don't think we will, but I believe in.
Igal, you have to enjoy the fact that there's a chance. And that is the thing that we haven't been able to say for a very long time. So
it's going down to the final day of the season. That is.
I'll be honest. I don't know when the last time I've actually watched the final game of the season because it's meant nothing. I've kind of just.
I watched the West Ham game a couple years ago. That was amazing.
It's on TV. I just don't care. I just don't respond. Oh, we scored. Yeah, cool.
Oh yeah, because the games are not on TV ever, unless you have Bein Sport or something like that. Okay, so the next topic is.
I mean, to be fair, didn't Man City not drop points, but on the final day go 2-0 down to Villa?
Yeah.
You know what?
Liverpool almost won the league on the final
day. That's even better, mate. That's even better. I'm going to be at Arsenal with no data on my phone, hearing that Man City have gone 2-0 down to West Ham, yeah? And then they'll win 3-2. That'll be even better. I can't fucking wait for that. Oh, I think that'll put me over. I think that'll.
Listen,
I think
if we get our Aguero moment, it could literally change the club.
Wait, are all the games at the same time?
Exact same
Yeah,
time.
4 p.m. All games 4 p.m.
3 o'clock kickoff. Everybody.
If there's
Is
any
it
fan base,
all Sunday?
They're all Sunday. 3 o'clock
if
kickoff.
there's any,
okay.
if there's any fan base in world football that's trained to accept heartbreak, I think it's us.
Yeah.
I think this should be nothing new to anyone. So just believe for one more game, and that's.
But it still
and then you
hurts, Matt.
It still hurts. It still hurts. But this is what being a footballer's
I
fan
don't
is about.
learn my lesson. I don't learn.
Okay, back in the
This
day,
is
right. No
big
one
up-
can call us
big up-
footballers.
Big up the 12-man podcast. Big up Dan Potts for the redirect. Really do appreciate it. Everyone who's just joined us, please do hit that like button. Let's get past at least 80 likes on this video if you can. What we're talking about right now is what is next. I'm going to change it. Let's stop talking about this season. Let's look, say, hypothetically speaking, if we finish second, what is next? And how do you feel about the season? Are you going to be one of those people who are going to be speaking like we were last year? Like the same thing happened? Because really and truly, the context is a lot different now. We've gone to the wire. We've taken it as far as we can, and we're just losing to. We might lose to a team that's just a margin better than us, even though we have a better goal difference at this moment in time, a better defense, a better attack than we did last year. I'll start with you, Mr. Y. What do you think, man? Talk to me.
For me, there's a lot of difference between last season. I think last season was a capitulation. I think this season we've shown a lot more grit. I think we've had the toughest, I know we've had the toughest run in, and we've had to go to, the likes of Old Trafford, go to, the new Tottenham Stadium and go and get results. I think we've shown a lot more character. Of course, there's disappointment because naturally you look back and think, what could have been had we got results? But there's a lot to build on and more confidence. I think, that when you're in a title run, when you're in a title challenge of this kind of magnitude against the Pep's Man City, who can accumulate 90, 91 points, you need to have that kind of experience or that understanding of what it takes, right? Because it's almost perfection is what you need to beat him. And they're going to need that experience. I wouldn't necessarily, of course, there's disappointment. And if you look at it from a trophy perspective, you could argue it's a failure. However, in terms of progress, we are showing signs of building building and taking a step in the right direction. And it gives me confidence moving into next season, thinking, if we improve our squad depth, if we, improve on some of the, fringe players, the likes of Eddie Nketiah, the Reece Nelsons with more quality, we get somebody who can help Bukayo Saka, we shore up in those type of areas, then we can mount an even better challenge and hopefully be champions come the end of next season. So it gives me some hope, if I'm to be honest with you.
I'm just going to say this. I agree. And what I'm about to say is going to trigger a lot of people. If we if we do lose to Man City and we come in second, I would look at that as progress. I agree. I think it is progress based on the fact that we've conceded less goals, we've scored more goals, we've taken it to the final day, we've pushed them to the end, and the only reason why people are upset is because we didn't get over the line and we didn't get the silverware. The team that we're facing are a juggernaut. What they've been able to do over the last couple of years, you got to give them credit. But right now, the stage that we're in, I believe this team can only get better. I don't see us similar to Liverpool, where they're going to fall off a cliff next year. They're not going to be challenging. We're looking at Manchester United. A year ago, they won a cup. They thought they were gassed. They were excited. They fell off a cliff the next year. Chelsea fans somehow keep going to cup finals. They don't win shit. They're nowhere near our level of football at this moment in time. Tottenham, we've seen them this season. They thought they were having a good season. They didn't even get Champions League football. Like, when it comes to the league, it's going to be Arsenal and Man City next year again. We can pretty much assume that based on how the teams look and the age and the squad size. So I'm confident that this team is going to be here again, and I'm confident this team is going to be challenging for the league next season. And if you want to clip this and you want to call me an idiot, call me whatever you want, I'm not bothered at this moment in time. I've accepted it. If we come in second, we come in second. We've done the best that we can, and we lost to a team by small margins. It's not next year. We could potentially be better than this. And Martin, you said something to me earlier. I wanted you to get your point across. What did you say to me earlier? You're like, this team not only could get better, but what could we do?
Well, if you take our first half of last season and you put it in the second half of this season, I think we'd be on 102 points, which would be pretty crazy as a team. So what we've got to do is basically look at all the records and break them. We have to break Chelsea's less than 15 goals against record. We have to, beat Invincibles with more wins. And I think we're on the right track to doing that. So I would say that it's not out of the question to go invincible next season. If all we've got to do is not lose to West Ham, Fulham, and Aston Villa, then that should be our target. Newcastle, but that was a little dubious. But yeah, I'll give you that.
We had 5 losses. Don't you think we could reverse those? Guys, don't you think this team has the capability to get 90-something plus points? Go ahead.
Yeah, I think the problem is, right, we don't have the depth to be able to perform at that level throughout the full 38 games. We've seen
we
it this
do
year.
now,
No,
after the summer.
I wouldn't say now. I'd say we can have it after the summer. But I think part of the problem is Arteta knew that he went too quick last season. And this season, he's gone too slow. So he needs to understand, right, where are the key positions? Where are our reliabilities, like in terms of who do we need and what positions do we need to have to play this sort of, throughout the whole season where we're not having to start slow? Because unfortunately, when we do slow, we don't really win the games or we don't get results all the time. So we need to be able to do what we've done second half of this season, first half of last season, and find out how much depth and what positions do we need. Because I do feel like Thomas Partey at the club, it can't, as much as it's a blessing, it's a detriment as well, because it's stopping us from buying someone who can do his role. Because when we look at, like, for example, Bukayo Saka, right? We're not, for some reason, we don't want to buy a backup for him. I don't understand why not. And, it's the same with Thomas Partey. Seemingly, like, we're not really willing to commit to buying a player who can take his place and make him a bench player. But there seems to be certain key core areas which we need to let go of the sentiment. I understand Thomas Partey. I'm not saying sell him, but I'm just saying we need to bring in our
I've been said this as well. We have to have someone of the same level.
Yeah.
Like they're not going to be as good, but we need to have someone that can come in and play the same role.
Or his profile, like just something where we don't lose Thomas Partey. Like where we're like, okay, you know what? Jorginho, as good as he is, he's a little bit different. What's that, sorry?
We got linked to a guy today. I think it was Joao Pedro, I want to say, but not.
No, Joao Neves is a winger.
Joao Neves, yeah.
He's not a winger. He's a midfielder.
Yeah, I'm talking about a midfielder like Partey understudy.
Oh yeah.
I mean, because we need that, because there seems to be very key areas of the squad where when we don't have that player, he doesn't seem to go full out in his tactics. He seems to have a reserved way of playing. But as soon as Thomas Partey's come in, we're playing a bit more expansively. Or when Jorginho's in the team, we play a bit more, fluid. We need to figure those areas out, and we need to make sure we've got the depth ready, so that, because we don't do well in the cups, we're not doing well, and then in the league we're kind of being slow, so it doesn't make any sense to me. So I mean,
we can talk about reinforcements, but my point was about, like, even with the players we've got, we didn't lose to City or any of the other big teams. We lost to the guys that we should have won those games. So
let me respond to this comment quickly. This guy here says he's a long-time subscriber, a new subscriber. How long do you give Arteta if he goes without a trophy, without winning a trophy? I personally think this is his last. I would give him this season, unless something crazy happens where we get to a Champions League final, challenge all the way to the final minute, we get to a FA Cup final and we lose all 3. Some madness like that. I don't know what would keep Arteta in the job next season.
The thing that has annoyed me about this season, is that cool. Okay, we're gonna lose the league.
You agree with me, guys? Give Arteta one more year, max.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
we'll probably lose the league on the last day to Manchester City. Yeah, but why does that have to be the be all and end all? Because we've got nothing else to our season. That's what's annoyed me. Like the football, there's more to football than the Premier League. There's the Carabao, the FA Cup, there's the Champions League, and we just cool. The Champions League, we got done. The Carabao Cup and the FA Cup, you can't tell me going out to that West Ham team, who ended up winning the Carabao Cup? Liverpool. Bruv, like
I think that's the biggest gripe with Mikel Arteta. Or the biggest gripe I have personally with Mikel Arteta with his tenure would be his disregard for the cup competitions, especially the Carabao and FA Cup, and that's something he's definitely going to have to improve. And I'd expect him to do a lot better next season. because I expect there to be less holes in terms of squad-wise. I don't expect there to be the same level of quality on that bench that we have this season. I don't think, personally for me, the quality this season off the bench isn't at the standard of what it should be. And I think next season, with the right additions, there is no excuse for abandoning those cup competitions. You should be acting in the same mode of Klopp and Pep, going out trying to win everything. And that should be
because this squad is yours now.
Just 1 second, Souls. I'm so sorry. I just want to say, everyone, do me a favor, hit that like button right now. It's absolutely free. We have over 400 people watching on all platforms. If you're watching on X, come join us on YouTube. I see you, Thomason. I don't know why you're watching on X. Come join us on YouTube. I know you're a subscriber, so come check us out on YouTube, guys. And of course, make sure you hit that like button, because we only have like 40 likes. How do we have 40 likes when we have over 130 of you guys watching? Gunner Souls, take it away. My apologies. And Matt, you need to get involved, bro. Don't wait for us to come speak. Get involved,
bro.
What I was gonna say is, like, for me, it's becoming harder to back Arteta because the squad is pretty much yours. And I'm not saying, by the way, I agree we should give him one more season, but what I'm saying is I don't know how many more, like, what more we can give him, because it's like after this summer, that bench is pretty much going to be what you've signed, let alone re-sign now. This isn't even about contract extensions or anything like that, or number changes that you've given, or responsibilities or captains that you've made, because likelihood is we're going to bring in about 4, maybe 5 players, depending on, what the plan is, how many players we let go. And now it's going to become, like, I'd say about 90% of the entire 25-man squad is who you've bought. Not even who you've signed or who you've promoted, but who you've bought. And that's a big thing, because if after that you still can't win an FA Cup, let alone league, forget the Champions League, forget all of that. If you can't even deliver a Carabao Cup or an FA Cup, there's questions that have to be asked, because we can't go again a trophyless season. Because how many more years do we give this promising squad? 0 trophies.
You know what the ideal thing is? This is my ideal. If Arteta wins the league next season, he keeps the job, and we have our next Sir Alex Ferguson, for example, right? But if things don't work out, we have a good enough team where we can get Ancelotti from Real Madrid when he leaves.
I think we have a chance as a fan base of, like, actually putting down our guns that we point at each other all the time and just agreeing to reassess at the end of next season. And I think everyone's completely open about the idea of replacing Arteta if there's someone else coming along. But if we can avoid having these, like, getting dragged into these debates, especially before big games like against Liverpool at home and stuff, people were saying, who should we replace Arteta with? Like, we just get dragged into it all the time, and it's so easy, and it's just like one trigger word. And people
Martin,
say,
you know what else
when are you going to demand trophies? Well, it's just a trap.
Martin, there's another one. Sam, I see you on Twitter. Come join us on YouTube, bro. But what do you call it? There's this another one. Guys, don't fall for this argument. Liverpool had a better season than you. Don't fall for this argument. Oh, your season was a failure. Don't fall for these arguments, because at the end of the day, they're buzzwords. There's little things, there's statements that they're trying to win arguments to make you feel bad about what the situation is at your club.
Things can be true, though, because it
can be true.
They did win.
They're going to finish one. They're going to finish one place below us with a day at Wembley and a trophy.
Whether it's true or not, it doesn't diminish from how much better we are than them.
We can be happy with what we've done. But we can also admit that actually silverware is more important. That's the point of football.
You want to know something? You're right. Silverware is important, but it's not everything. It's not the beyond and all.
No, but that's when you're being disingenuous, though, because
the reason you play 38 games,
you're getting literally dragged into the trap of talking about it. Like, right as
it's not, though. No, because what I'm saying is, I'm not saying you have to be Arteta because Liverpool did better. No, what I'm saying is you can be, like, happy with your progress, but also say that, you know what? Okay, Liverpool got 3rd, we came 2nd in hypothetical scenario. Let's say we didn't win the league, right? And they won silverware, we didn't. So the outcome is they've got silverware and still got the same outcome as us. They still competed for the league. Okay, they dropped off a little bit earlier than we did, but I would be happier with their season because we won something.
I really add to that. I mean, I agree from a trophy perspective, they've had a better season than us. That's factually speaking. No one can argue about that. Yeah. However, you can also talk about how disappointing their Europa League campaign was, bearing that they were extreme favourites. They are really a Champions League side, and they were expected to make Dublin, right? Being that this is Jurgen Klopp, one of the best 3 managers in world football at the moment, and their failure to get knocked out by a minnow in Atlanta is a significant failure as well. So I think the issue I have with the whole manager debates is that no one wants to apply. It's black and white, and there's zero context applied to it. I think there are so many scenarios that need to be looked at. Who the manager would be, for instance, how the season played out. Did we get to finals? Were we unlucky? Were we hit by a crazy amount of injuries? Everything plays a part. So it's a bit, for me, so the whole conversation or the discourse about the manager is a little bit flawed and kind of premature at the moment, because we don't know. There are 100 permutations or all kind of things that can happen between now and the end of the season. So
I just want to say this. The conversation about Arteta out needs to be put on park. The conversation about better season, not winning a trophy, all these things, we can have it all summer. But what's going to benefit us the most? Looking forward and actually seeing what we can do and to progress this team. So let's bring Matt into the conversation, because this is the final topic I wanted to discuss before we move on. Sorry, Matt, you wanted to say something on this topic before we move on?
Yeah, no, look, so in the 2021-2022 season, right, we bottled top 4. We finished 5th, right? And then at the end of that season, everyone, pundits, rival fans, legends, were saying that this was Arteta's best chance at top 4, and he blew it. That is literally the maximum he can get with this Arsenal team. And then the next season, he gets us in a title race. And yes, we did bottle the title, but he got us top 4, and that was doubted. And then at the end of that season, everyone was saying that was their best chance of winning the title, and we blew it. And guess what? The following season, we're in the title race, and we're going down to the last game of the season. Every time Arteta gets doubted, he proves them wrong. And I just think that we need to give him until the end of next season. If he doesn't win anything by then fair enough. I can hear the arguments, but to sack him this season, it just doesn't make sense. This team is very, very good. We scored pretty much the most goals in the league. We've conceded the less. We've got the best goal difference currently. We're probably on point for 89 points, which is our highest ever. It's literally just Pep Guardiola that is stopping this Arsenal team and Arteta from winning the Premier League.
Finally,
if Pep Guardiola wasn't here, we'd have won.
Before we go into transfers, I just want to ask a simple question, guys. Do you believe this team can get better next season and potentially go on to win the league?
Yes.
And if we do go on to win the league next season, then everything will be all right. If we don't win the league next season, then we can have the conversation about the manager. And I think it's a healthy discussion to be had. It's just to have it on the terrace or to have it here after every game just won't make sense to me. Yeah. And also, can we for once trust the manager? If he goes and signs Sancho, or if he goes and signs Scott McTominay, for example, I'm not going to, if Mikel Arteta tomorrow signs Scott McTominay, I'll back it because I believe in him.
Naughty. I had arguments with you about Kai Havertz. Don't do this.
No, now I'm going to do it though. I'm not.
Now you're going to do it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and also before you move on, I would argue that Liverpool's season ending with bottling the league and losing their manager would probably negate any kind of Carabao Cup $400,000 prize money that you get. So I
also just want to speak on this, right? This Liverpool bottle job is not getting spoken about enough.
Yeah.
They
because it happened 2 weeks ago.
Exactly. Klopp's last
season. No, 2 weeks ago.
Everton.
Bro, you want to know something? People care more about Arsenal bottling the league than Man City doing a 4P.
I know.
Yeah, that's facts.
That's the problem.
I said this to you at the start. It's because people have got this idea worked up in their head that we're unbearable, all because of people online.
Nah, do you know what
but also it's to do with Man City. They ain't got no fans.
No. It's not even that. It's because City, right? No, it's not even that. I think it's because City, right, don't with the top 3, let's say, right, us. They don't really come to us. But you know when City do start climbing at 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 trophies, league titles, they're going to be like, what the fuck happened here? How did we let this happen? That's when they're going to realize, crap, they've become the biggest club in England.
Bro,
And
they're not too far. They're not
That's
too
what
far
I'm
from
saying.
us.
But when it happens, the same way United, right?
They've already
United,
overtaken Chelsea.
It took
Yeah.
years for United to become that club that everyone
Chelsea
hated.
fans are clapping.
It became years.
They've
until,
already overtaken Chelsea.
yeah.
They are.
But Chelsea
4
are their
league titles.
biggest stick suckers.
Guys,
They love them more.
They're
They're like,
they
oh,
win
brother.
this year. They win this year. They're 3 Premier Leagues away from catching us.
Yeah,
That's
but this is what I'm
saying.
trying to explain to you. So,
When all this happens, right? That's when they're going to start to realize, crap, we've just let them do this.
but Goodness Souls, what I was trying to say is that because of our online presence as fans, as Arsenal, we're a larger fan base. That's why we're a bit more unbearable to other opposition fans, and as a result, they root against us. Whereas Man City don't have that same level of fan base who are as loud or dominant.
They will in about 10 years' time.
But
Yeah,
should I be honest, though?
but at this moment, this is why everybody will happily bend over and let them. There isn't that kind of determination to kind of get a result against them. Whereas, especially the big three in terms of Arsenal, Liverpool, United, right? The historical big three, should I say, right? There is this kind of idea from all, for the rest of the league that this is the tradition. These are traditionally historic clubs, and there is some sort of pride trying to take something away from them. Whereas City are just building their history. They don't have that same kind of notoriety about them. And as the years go on, like you said, it will develop as it did with Man United under Sir
We are
Alex.
not interested in catching Arsenal trophy hall. We are after Liverpool and United. You
Fair
see?
enough. But the thing is, though, reality is different to social media. If you speak to actual fans, right? I'm in an area where there's a majority of like random fan bases, Newcastle fans, I know United fans, I know Liverpool fans, City fans, and when you speak to them, they actually don't. Other than City fans, they don't. A lot of people in reality don't want City to win because they don't like they don't like the way they've done it in terms of they've just been able to pump money in. But secondary to that, they also don't. They don't value the way they've done it.
Fair.
But social media will tell you something different. That's why I don't go on social media and say that is the narrative that should be run.
Guys, it's even more simpler than that, right? Which fan base has been bantered mercilessly for 20 years?
Arsenal.
Ours. So the people that have been doing the bantering do not want that banter to come back and slap them in the face, because every Arsenal fan has got a list of all the people that gave them crap over the years to come back to. So it's more to do with them than it is to do with us. So it's important for them to get
gaslighted. Could you say that about
this.
Tottenham potentially winning a trophy though? Like
What's
they
that?
get
No,
absolutely
because even if Tottenham won a trophy, it'll be forgotten about the next day.
No way.
That's fair.
They're not close to
I
us,
mean,
right?
from other fans, but not
No,
one of
you
them,
still
but
get told about the Audi Cup, fam. Come on, let's not do this.
No, they get ridiculed for that.
About the Audi
Anyways, guys, let's move on. Let's move on to the final topic. Final topic is a striker. Now, I don't know if you guys know much about Benjamin Sesko.
No,
He's been linked to Arsenal as a potential striker target. He's currently 20 years old. He's playing in for RB Leipzig this season. For RB Leipzig, if I'm not mistaken, he's played a total of 30 games. He has 13 goals. But in the most recent run of games is where he scored majority of those goals, if I'm not mistaken, near the back end of the season, where he's been getting a lot of game time and he's really gotten used to his role in the team. In his last, since game week 19 till game week 33, he scored a goal or assisted in every single game. That's what is that? A total of let me just show you guys. This is nuts. So the guy, he's tall, he's fast, he's one of those guys who has everything except for the passing and the link-up play. He can do everything else except for the passing and link-up play. Some people telling me he's not a clinical finisher, but when you see a goal-scoring record this,
he's got a good left foot and a good right foot. He's very tall.
He's got a good shot on him. I can't lie. He has got
Yeah.
Man United were linked with him last season from memory in the summer, and that's when I remember.
He's got a rocket on him. Oi!
Let me give you guys the scatter
I'd
report that I got.
Isaac.
We're not going to be able to get
We'll
Isaac.
talk about Isaac in a second because I don't think we're going for him right now. But what I did see on him is that his passing would be his weakest part of his game. Everything else, he seems pretty well rounded. He's 6'4". He's fast. He's really good turn of pace. He's one of those guys you put the ball in behind for him, and he's able to get that 1-0 every time. But yeah, You guys tell me, what do you guys think about Sesko? Have you heard about him? Do you know much about him?
I'm literally finding out as we speak.
I'll just
I
go
don't know too
quickly.
much
I
about
had
him.
like a. Oh, sorry, go, Matt.
Yeah, no. I don't know too much about him, but I know he played for IB Leipzig, I think, or was it Salzburg?
He plays for
one of those
both,
two clubs, and he killed it there. You know, like he's doing well. He's 20 years old. You know, he's still quite young. I'm just not like it. Just doesn't feel to me as like a good signing because I feel like he'd be quite expensive.
Isn't oh no, well, that's the only reason why he's good is
There's a
because he's
65
half the
million
price
release
of
clause.
everyone else.
Yeah.
Sorry,
He has a 65 million release clause.
Euros.
I'd just buy Isaac. I'd just buy Isaac, man.
I mean, for me, when I look at the striker market as a whole, I don't think there are as many strikers of real quality on the market to begin with, right? So, you know, we're looking at a very scarce market, and you know, I like Isak at Newcastle, and he's a good player. However, he also has limitations to his game, and I don't know if he's a player that works really well in transition and you know in behind. But how does he fare in a low block in that same way? You know, he's not somebody like an Osimhen or Haaland who's really a massive aerial threat who can kind of you know dominate the box. You know, in that kind of regard. So spending £100 million on a striker that's not necessarily going to move the needle doesn't necessarily make sense to me, especially with the scarcity. It might be a wise move to sign a young, talented, up and coming forward.
Can I just say something on?
Let me just run through this quickly. So this is a comparison. This is one of my scouting websites that I go on to, Brazil Scout. You need to check him out. He posted this about 3 hours ago. The comparisons are Erling Haaland, Rasmus Højlund, and Dusan Vlahovic. His former clubs are RB Leipzig, RB Salzburg, and he currently plays for RB Leipzig. He's right-footed, 6'4", if I'm not mistaken, but it says 6'3" here. He's 21 years old. His weakness is his defensive contribution as a striker. His passing is not that good. I don't know why they didn't put that as a weekness also, but he's fast. Apparently, he's a good finisher. Acceleration, strength, ball control, technique, aerial duels, what is that? Intensity. Instinct. Sorry. Instinct.
Can I just quickly say something on him, right? Like, his agent has been shipping him all around, like so many clubs in the past 2 weeks. I personally just take these links with a pinch of salt because, like,
they're all salty.
Well,
all the links are
like his agent,
is
literally just trying to gain interest. Really, like he's been to Old Trafford, he's been to Emirates, he's been to.
To be fair, he's fast. He's fast.
He was very hyped up last summer, and then United got Højlund instead.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't think he's ready.
No, but I think that you guys need to look at all the other Arteta signings and go, well, I don't know why we're getting Ramsdale. It might be one of those where we just get a guy that we just don't really rate, and then he'll turn it into what he needs to. So I can't really get that worried about. But I wanted Tony, but if we're not getting Tony, then I think this is the next best guy for the price because I don't want to spend 100+ on someone that's not going to deliver.
The question we have to ask as fans is are the other strikers who are going to be in the 100 million plus going to transform us in the same way that Rice has, right? And are they worth spending that money on? And for me, bar maybe an Osimhen just because of his box presence, where you can put crosses into him and he can jump extremely high and dominate, and we be able to kind of get goals from that. There ain't many strikers out there that we can.
I'm surprised you didn't say Alexander.
Man said accountants.
Have you seen what he's done at Newcastle?
But a lot of it is in transition. We don't play in transition.
Also, they don't want to sell him. He's going to sign a new contract, and he's going to cost a ridiculous amount of money if we want to buy him.
Why would he sign a new contract?
Why wouldn't he? Your job security.
He's got a Champions League release clause in his current contract.
Wait. Igor, did you just say job security? Man's fine. He's one of them.
Nah, but you know what I mean. Guys do this. They always get better contracts when they're at their current club. It's just
I get that. Even if he's a free agent, he's got plenty of suitors.
But he's not going to be a free agent.
No, I know, but you just said he's going to sign it for job security. That's not a reason for him.
He won't stay at Newcastle, Igor. He will not stay at Newcastle.
What about his injury record? because we got Thomas Partey, right? And we all make, we all complain about Thomas Partey's injuries, right? So why does it make sense for us to sign a striker in Isak, who's a very talented player, what we've seen, and very good in transition, but misses a significant amount of games for injury?
You want to know something? Even with that amount of games that he missed, he's still one of the Golden Boot guys.
All I'm going to say
he's still got more goals than
all I'm going to say is I'm going to break a lot of hearts, right? Because I see we're not going for a striker.
Yeah, no, I know.
What do you think we're going to get?
A wide forward.
All I'm saying is we're not in for a striker.
Yes,
if we are, it'll be a no. If we are, I'm telling you with certainty right now. But if we are, it'll be the worst thing or the best case scenario will be a project striker. We're not going for a striker.
Are you in ITK too now? What have we got?
Take it how you want. You take my information how you want to take my information.
Are you saying we're going to get Mbappé?
We're not going for a striker, but all of a sudden we're going to go for Mbappé.
Give me Mbappé.
I don't make any sense.
I don't know.
Give me Mbappé.
I've seen I show speed talking about Mbappé to Arsenal. I don't believe it.
No.
Hey, that gave me confidence, You
know what? Yeah, he's better.
I don't know why.
That's not the player. But there is a name. But yeah, we'll just say all I'm going to say.
All I will say
this like Mbappé links because speed, like he actually has contacts with players and agents.
Yeah,
but
and he's stupid. I'm not saying, by the way, I'm not saying we're getting like that, but he's stupid enough to let this information out. That's all. Like,
Nketiah is leaving, right? We can't be in the Champions League quarterfinals and looking at Nketiah as our guy that's going to get us a goal, and he can't just rely on Havertz and Jesus. So I feel Arteta would walk rather than not sign.
The Palace ship sailed, man. Mateta's all of a sudden turned into the next flipping Olivier Giroud Lacazette, bruv.
Glasnier's going.
West Ham.
Yeah, madness.
Ain't Ipswich? Did I see something about Ipswich looking
60 million for Smith Rowe and Eddie Nketiah?
Bro, I don't want to say right. Ipswich are actually going to look like a very good team next season.
I heard Newcastle's going to drop crazy money for Ramsdale. Like,
Smith Rowe and Nketiah, like they ain't championship players.
And
like,
Reece is going to get
bro. Ipswich are doing business.
Reece to Brighton for 25. Yeah, guys, the club is going to make some major sales.
But what about Smith Rowe, man? Like, are you not really giving up on Smith Rowe?
I haven't.
I haven't given up on Smith Rowe. It's just I've kind of learned that he is going. He's going.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
I'd rather he stays.
At what point, like, what's going on with Martinelli? Because we can all talk about and grill Smith Rowe, yeah, but Martinelli has stank.
Gabriel Martinelli has just had a poor
You want to know what else? The academy. Taylor Hart's leaving. Royal Walters. All the academy players are leaving.
That's
because they're not good enough.
It's part of the plan. Because what we need to do is don't forget, like the profit sustainability rules that are coming in, we need to capitalize on our academy because that gives you, firstly, it gives you 100% profits on your book. Secondary, it allows you to spend up to 3 times our sale value. So
these guys are leaving for compensation. They're not getting
the
sold.
Academy, right? That are probably going to make it at Arsenal, and that's Wanyeri, Skelly, and Obi Martin. The rest of the academy players.
Obi Martin's no way. Trust me.
What do you mean? No way.
What about Dalman?
Trust me, no way. I promise you not. I promise. I watched some match footage of him earlier.
What about Max Dalman?
He's a baller, man.
He's young. I watched match footage earlier.
Too early to say. But the fact he's 14 and he's training with the first team is
he 14?
So are you saying I want to know? Do you guys? I don't deem this a problem. But Arsenal potentially losing their academy players. Do you think this could become a problem?
It's a refresh.
It's a good thing.
Because you buy new players.
Bro, Taylor Hart. 1 second. Guys, do you guys realize Taylor Hart is viewed as one of the best academy players that we have?
Yeah, and Nketiah was also a very good striker. That doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, can I just say, like, we all asking for our club to move to the next level in terms of be Premier League winners, right? There needs to be a level of ruthlessness, not just with the academy, but also with the 11, right? We need to kind of stop being sentimental with certain players. And if we are to challenge City again and dethrone City, we need to upgrade on some of these players. And there are players that I enjoyed and think there's a lot to offer. But at the same time, we can't carry passengers. We can't be a club that are... We can talk about Reece Nelson. We can talk about Eddie Nketiah. We can.
You
talk
just
about
said like
Emil
starting
Smith-Rowe.
11, no?
No, I'm talking about. Sorry, I mean the squad. Let me clarify. The squad.
Okay, yeah.
And even in the starting 11, you could argue right now that we perhaps need someone that's either going to take Martinelli's spot or push Martinelli for that position because he hasn't been good enough for the last 12 months.
It might be take Trossard's spot. If we're being real.
So
even
guys,
Saka, right? You want competition because that brings out the best in these players. We can't allow these players to feel like, regardless of the performance they put in, they're going to walk into the squad week in, week out. And you can have that with one or two players, but you can't have that throughout the squad. And at the moment, we have a squad where we know, like, let's be honest, if everybody's fit, we know 95% of the time who's going to play, right? There's nobody who we're thinking, oh, maybe he might push him to start. Odegaard is 100% starting, right? Unfortunately, what's his name hasn't pushed him for a position yet.
But that's sometimes a good thing, though.
No, because competition breeds,
Yeah, no, I get that.
Yeah, right. Like when you look at City, what have made City so special is that they
do have Haaland.
But that's because they've got world-class players on the bench that will literally demand game time. Otherwise, they're going to leave.
You know what? You know what's interesting? This whole world-class argument about Man City. Half of the players Man City have signed haven't been world-class when they signed them. Nobody was screaming about Bernardo Silva. Nobody was screaming about.
No, they were. They were. Let's not like Silva.
They were. But Guardiola, as centre back with pace, he's turned him into a joke.
I'm talking about as the world's best goodness souls. I'm not talking about. I'm just talking about.
No one was talking about Ake like they are now. Akanji.
Right. So even when we look at Liverpool, they signed Mane and they signed Salah. Nobody's talking about those two players as the best wide forwards in world football. They took them and they made them those type of players, right? So we get into this idea where they have this. Of course, they pumped a lot of money in, but not all these players were what Galactico signings like Madrid do, right? They haven't signed the best of the best, right? So we can still do the same. Competition breeds excellence, and
let's do an exercise. Let's try to raise some funds. First of all, Ramsdale's getting sold. How much does he get sold for?
I don't want to comment. I don't want to comment.
More than we bought him for. We
bought him for about 30 million.
So how much?
I reckon we get 50 million.
He's going for more than we bought him for.
40 million.
Yeah.
We will definitely make a profit on Ramsdale because he's homegrown.
I say Ramsdale 40
he's got
mil.
That English tax as well.
No, but his wages also. His wages
I think is about 100k to 150k. Like,
okay, so what does everyone agree on? 30, 40?
It'll be 40 minutes.
40.
I'm gonna get the website up. Hold on.
Okay, so
I think he was 24 million when we bought him.
Okay, so pounds. 40 for Ramsdale. Then we go to defense.
I'm just gonna get all like the salaries off.
Zinchenko?
25, 30. I'd be happy to take anything.
But then 5 million paid like 40 million for him.
We paid 30 million, no?
25.
25, yeah, 25, 30 is what we paid.
Ramsdale's on 120k, by the way.
So I'm saying 25 mil for Zinchenko.
By the way, just to
25
thorn in people's sides.
What are you saying, Dylan? How much would you sell Zinchenko for?
Newcastle, Man United have conceded again. Goal for Newcastle.
Nice. What are you saying? 25 mil?
Bruv, you see that guy there? I don't even know why he's smiling at me, bruv. I just
Bart Simpson.
Roll the page, man.
All right, guys. I need your help. Give me your input. What, higher or lower? 25 mil.
Higher.
I think 30 million.
Yeah.
The thing with Zinchenko, what worries me about Zinchenko is I don't see him going to another English club. And outside of the Prem teams, I don't see many clubs spending over.
Bayern Munich need a left back.
You know where Zinchenko becomes the bug.
He's not a left back.
Take him to La Liga.
He needs to be sold as a midfielder.
Yeah, no.
I
agree.
Don't tell him. Don't tell him.
Take him to La Liga.
Zinchenko.
He'll rip it up.
Let's say high end 30 mil. That's fair.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. Easy.
All right. So 30 mil for Zini. Now we're not selling anyone else from this team. Cedric's going on a free.
Cedric's gone already.
Tomiyasu?
Smith Rowe.
I reckon we can get 40 million for him.
I'm gonna say 200 million.
30.
I don't care. I'm shameless like that. No,
It's a 40 million.
35. I think 35. The club sell him.
Yeah, 350 million. I agree. Fair enough.
Because at the end of the day, it's literally pure profit because he's in the company.
If we get 35 mil for him, That's basically 115 mil in spending you're allowed.
Yeah.
I mean, I think 35 million would have been something maybe last season, but for a player that's barely played, I think it's going to
No,
be.
there's
Well,
still value. There's
Luton's
still value
prepared
there.
to offer 30.
if they're willing to offer 30, then that's
But they're going down. Luton
going
are
down,
going
right?
down.
So,
Going up.
yeah.
Yeah, but
No, I
Smith
mean,
Rowe's not going to Luton,
what's it
though.
called? Ipswich. They're prepared to offer 30 mil.
Yeah, well, if we can get 30, 25 up, like 30 with some sort of add,
Okay,
like in terms of
so
maybe
we do
some
30.
sell-on clause. Yeah.
Okay, we do 30. Partey. Martin, what you saying? 25?
I'm holding.
40?
I'm keeping.
Of course.
You're
Keep
keeping.
him.
Yeah, I'm
100%.
keeping.
Oh, we can say keep. Okay, I'm keeping Smith Rowe, but okay.
No. But Thomas Partey's wages, guys. He's going to be
Yeah.
getting.
Bro, loudest. Oh,
No, I don't think you sell your best players.
Look,
Like
look,
we've got
Dr.
Lokonga,
Death is-
we've got Patino,
we
we've
got
got
nothing
other.
else selling
Join
to
the
go.
devil.
Tino's going.
Okay, so we keep Partey.
I would tell
Um,
Partey. I think you can't afford to have a 200k a week player just who barely plays. I think it's
No.
I
but listen,
agree.
Dr. Death
I
has
would've
gone.
sold
He's
him.
joined the devil. He has joined the devil. He's gone where he belongs in hell, right? And now Thomas Partey will stay fit.
People
We've
want to
got
sign
rid of the
Isak, and
curse.
he plays just
That
as much as
absolute
Partey.
swine of a man. We got rid of him. Now we're okay. We're all good. We'll
Okay,
keep. We'll keep
I don't
on.
know what you're talking about, but fair.
Like Driscoll, geezer, man. The doctor we had, the head.
Do you
coach,
guys
we
sell
used to say everyone's fit.
Fabio?
No. Why
I
would
would.
we sell him? Why?
I'd
He's-
loan.
Yeah, you're right. To be fair, we're not going to get any bread for him. You know what? Genuinely,
Why?
like
He's a
you don't. No. Gal, I actually want to touch on this. Yeah, I want to touch on this briefly. Yeah, because this is not spoken about enough yet. Fabio Vieira is a player we should be sending to the likes of Villarreal next season or somewhere like that. Yeah, a massive problem at Arsenal and a massive problem with the youth players, and the reason they all want to piss off because they've had enough of Arteta. Yeah, is because Arsenal's loan system is so bad. When you're at Arsenal, okay, no, right. Let me start with this. When you're at Chelsea managed to get that Casade guy a loan to Leicester, who have just won the championship. They managed to get Amari Hutchinson playing and balling for Ipswich, a team have just got up to the Premier League. Yeah, they got players going. They got
Someone
players
to
going around the
Dortmund who's in
world.
the Champions League
They-
final.
They got Man United. They got Jadon Sancho Dortmund. Arsenal, when they want to loan someone, have put Charlie Patino at Blackpool and Swansea. It stinks. It absolutely.
He
reeks.
wasn't good
They
enough
got-
to get a better loan though. Like it's their
no,
fault
yeah,
as well.
that's a drag. That's ridiculous because this Casade guy who Chelsea have got, no one has a fucking clue who he is. I watched him play live. He's bang
But-
average. Yeah, it's the club. The club have built. The club have better relationships and they negotiate it better. They just do. They just negotiate it better. We don't negotiate as well. Charlie Patino was gassed up to be one of the best talents coming out of Haaland for in the last 10 years. He was really hyped up to be one of the best talents. He came on. He got his first Arsenal goal. He got a start in the FA Cup. There's no reason why Charlie Patino couldn't have gone and got a decent loan, yeah. But we gave him to Swansea and Blackpool. It stinks, yeah. Flip, what's his name? Oh my god,
Bring
who's
it
ended
back
up
to the
Hold
topic
on, hold on,
of
hold on.
discussion.
The one who's ended up at Ibiza. What's his name? Miguel Aziz. Miguel Aziz, yeah. Where did he go? He got loaned to
Bro,
absolutely.
man looks like he's had lipo or some madness.
Bruv,
He's
The players have to take responsibility for this.
Our loan system is embarrassing. We should be able to look at Fabio Vieira and say, cool, he's not ready yet. Go to this team, but you're going to play and you're going to be at a proper team and it's actually going to benefit.
What about Mika Biereth going to Sturmgras?
No, but you know something? The only
There you
time
go.
the only time people start coming to your players and saying, you know what, I'll take them on loan is when they see some successful ones like Lokonga.
Yeah, I mean, on the Casade front, I mean, he was highly touted from Inter Milan and signed for about 15 million euros, and he went to the under-16 World Cup, if I'm not mistaken, and had a high reputation. I think the reality is that if he was ready for men's football, right? Because I think physically there's a difference in stature with Patino. He's really good on the ball, but physically he's struggling with the likes of the Championship, and that can happen. You know, there's a big step up physically between men's football and youth football. And unfortunately, if you can't, even as good as you may be technically, if you can't grasp that physical the difference, then it's a wrap for you. And he's kind of drowned on his 2 loan spells.
Let's talk about Jesus quickly. How much would you sell him for if you were to sell him?
I keep no. I wouldn't even think about selling him because he's a player that is really so unpredictable. He's perfect for Arsenal. The thing is his injuries
and his quality.
Like, he's so good out on the wing. Yes, he can play striker, and you know, like he doesn't really score a lot of goals. But what he does for us off the ball is you know, there isn't a striker that can do that for us.
Just stop calling him a striker and we'll be fine.
All right.
Academy players.
Boys. Aston Villa come tomorrow. They offer 48 million for Martinelli.
No.
Martinelli.
48 million. No. What?
No.
I'm
Can I
not
make
selling
a short
Martinelli.
case for Martinelli?
His price tag's about 90 million.
What? 90 million?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, if we get 90 million
90
for Martinelli, if we get 90 million for Martinelli, I'll pass my driving test in a week and drive me to.
By the way, Amadiano scored.
Hey,
Banger.
Listen,
Look, we're
I'm not
gonna
going to
get
lie
90
to
million
you.
for Martinelli 'cause
I
we're
don't
not
know
gonna
why
spend
you're
him.
giving up on Martinelli.
Yeah,
bro, no. Gal, you know what I look at, bro? Why are you giving up on Smith Rowe? Because Smith Rowe at least shows me something when he put
We
Martinelli.
paid
man,
more
guys.
for Jesus
Hey,
than we're going to sell for Martinelli. Yeah.
But can I just say, like, on this whole thing, we're talking about looking at getting rid of some of these players. We also need to evaluate how many players we need to bring in, because we can't.
Facts.
We can't get rid of everybody and sign everybody in one window, right? Like, for instance, Jesus. Would he be somebody
I
that
think
we
Dylan
get
needs
rid of?
to stay off the weed. What are you talking about selling Martinelli for?
Yeah,
Bro,
like
40
I just
million
think
for
there's
Martinelli
so
and
many better
Martinelli.
wingers out there, and if it's time to win the Premier League and compete for the Champions League, we need better than Martinelli.
So strengthen the squad. You don't weaken the squad by selling Martinelli.
Improve the squad.
What we need to do is move Martinelli to striker. He's a striker. He plays like a striker.
The
That's
guy
what
can't
he is.
finish. He can't shoot, bro.
He
He can't
can.
finish. What are
He
you talking
can.
about?
Look at him last season.
Yo.
He played basically as a striker.
Great.
Huh?
I think we can save this for the summer. There's going to be a lot to
Yeah, we
chance
can
to
save this show
sell
for the
our
summer.
boys.
Sure.
Yeah.
But Mr. Y had something to say before we move on.
Yeah, I was just saying, like, the likes of Jesus, there are so many other players that we need to kind of prioritize needing to go in that forward position, like we said, that there's no point of even trying to get rid of him, because we're already getting rid of 2 or 3 players in that forward position, in Eddie Nketiah and Reece Nelson, that we need to improve on. You get rid of someone like Jesus, that's another forward that you need to replace. Like, it just doesn't make sense for this window. We also have to kind of look at it economically and think, all right, let's prioritize getting who's getting out first and who we can bring in to upgrade them. And then if there's room from them, then we can look at the rest of it. But getting rid of someone like Jesus
is
Let me just point this out. Arsenal are planning to sell 7 players in the summer and raise about 130 million, reported by the Mirror Football. They said Ramsey, Eddie Nketiah, Kieran Tierney, Nuno Tavares, Reece Nelson, Lokonga, and Smith Rowe could raise up to 130 million cash.
Do it. I think start there and then worry about the rest. But I would keep some of them. Maybe if Arteta thinks that they've got an extra level to go. But Smith Rowe's had enough chances to force his way in.
Yeah.
Nelson, all that kind of stuff. Like,
No, I don't think Smith Rowe's been given opportunities.
Who on this list do you keep besides Smith Rowe?
Smith Rowe.
If I was going to pick one, I'd probably pick Smith Rowe. Because Ramsdale, like, his father just pisses me off. He does, man. Honestly, he does my head in, right? And Eddie Nketiah, like, I can't believe we gave this guy 100k a week. I can't believe that. And
hopefully the next person who comes in can get the number 14 shirt if they deserve it.
no
You
one
know
gets
what?
the
I
shirt.
don't think we
It's
should be
too much
giving out the
pressure.
number 14 shirt unless you've earned it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just makes people angry.
Yeah.
For no
But
reason.
hey, guys, don't believe the transfer window hasn't started yet. Don't believe anything you read at this moment in time, because closer to the window, we'll actually get more concrete news.
Okay,
For now,
if you guys could pick 3 signings each,
You could
that'd be
never
interesting.
have ever predicted the signing. You could never have ever predicted the signings of Zinchenko and Havertz. You would never have predicted. They were so random.
No. Zinchenko was predictable.
No, it came out of nowhere and it happened
No, it
within about
didn't.
6 days.
No, it
It
didn't.
did.
I
It
knew
was
about
obvious.
the Zinchenko links.
It was Martinez and then Zinchenko. That was
Bro,
always there.
Jesus and Zinchenko links were a year old before we even signed them.
Zinchenko links didn't surprise because we were inverting KT at times, right? So it was clear that he wanted somebody that could do that role. So
But
signing
he
makes
wanted
sense.
Lisandro
Name,
Martinez first and then
Right.
Zinchenko.
If you said Havertz came out of nowhere because we were after Mason Mount. Imagine if we signed Mason Mount over Havertz.
What a beautiful
Imagine if we signed Mason Mount over Havertz. Our title,
that would have
forget
been
about title.
horrible. But I'm happy we've got Kai Havertz, man. I'll argue to the death about that one.
Anyways, guys, I've held you guys for too long, 15 minutes longer than I thought we were going to go. Big up everyone who's
Can I just
watching.
quickly say something, Ego?
Yeah.
Right, so to the whole panel and to the chat, 3 signings this season. Who are you going for?
Bro, we can't do that. That's going to take 2 hours.
Well,
No, you do it.
take
this
2
way.
hours.
You got 10 seconds each.
I'll take Isaac, another centre back.
Mbappé, Vinny,
and-
Rodrigo. Let's go.
Oh, Rodrigo. No. Rodrigo, Isaac, and
What is this fantasy land? Yeah, like am I allowed to dream?
no, it's
Realistic,
fantasy
bro.
land.
Realistic.
If it's
200
fantasy
mil
land,
to
if I
spend.
know what's actually rolling into my lineup, yeah, Rodrigo, Mbappe, and Isaac. Sit down.
Okay, I'm gonna keep it realistic. Xavi Simon,
Yeah, it's not a bad chat.
Bruno G.
Nah.
G. No. Actually, forget Bruno G. Xavi Simon, De Jong, and Isaac.
I'm gonna keep it realistic as well, and I'm gonna go Alexander Isak, Frankie De Jong, and Hato.
Who?
I'm gonna go with Hato as well.
Do you not know who Hato
Correct.
is? There you go.
Yeah,
Hato's
sure.
a left
yeah.
back. Zubamendi or this Joao Neves guy, Sesko, and a winger that I would blow the bank on, like 100 million winger.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, easy,
People
easy
said
for me.
Isaac.
Rafael Leao, bring me Frankie De Jong.
Oh, Elise. Sorry, I forgot. Elise will be my
Definitely
winger.
not Rafael, but Rodrigo, I like that.
And
Yo,
Rodrigo.
Nico Williams, keep that guy away from my club.
Nah,
Oh,
Nico Williams is sick, man. What you want
Yes,
about?
Fana,
facts. Right, thank
Zubamendi.
you, Miguel.
This guy said Musiala. Where's Musiala playing in our team? Left wing.
No,
Left centre
he'd
mid.
play left A. with
Bayern
Odegaard
on
and
Musiala.
Rice. Yo, that'd be a banging midfield, you know.
Anyways, Mr. Y, what do you have?
I'll take João Neves or Bruno G midfield, one of the two. I'd take wide forwards. The market ain't really too stacked with them. I mean, a dream would be Leao, but he's not moving anywhere. But just for argument's sake, I'll just throw in Leao and then I'll put in Diomande from Sporting Lisbon as a centre half.
There you go. There you go. Everyone, you guys have yourselves a wonderful day. Hopefully you enjoyed this stream. This has been another Arsenal panel show. Big up to the panel. Big up Martin. Big up Souls. Big up Matt. Big up Dylan. And of course, Mr. Y. You guys have yourselves a wonderful day. If you haven't hit the like on the video, please do that now. And we're out, people. Have a good one. Peace.